Hi Aquarius, welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. Aquarius, we're going to get right into the reading. I already have a card pulled out just to kind of get the energy started here. You have the Trapped card that came out of the House of Wisdom of Night. And so it's giving me this impression, Aquarius, that you are feeling like you're limited in some way. Either you feel like you're in a circumstance, some type of situation that is around you that is keeping you limited. And this card can speak of that feeling like indefinite. Like it feels like this limitation is indefinite. It feels like there's something that maybe you want to do, but you can't do. Maybe you don't have the time or you don't have the resources. But there could also be too, like there could be some expectations on you from other people at this point, and you are unable to fulfill those expectations. It could be right, and it's just making you feel uncomfortable and trapped. Maybe you would like to fulfill those expectations, but you can't do it for whatever reason. But I mean, the strongest message always, often with these cards, is to try to remember that this is just temporary. It will not always be this way. And you will have whatever you're going through right now that makes you feel limited, makes you feel trapped. This is not permanent and it will change. So that's the first card that came out for you. It's kind of a tough one. No, it is a bit of a tough card there. So we're going to go into, just kind of look at your energy a little bit better here. I'm going to go into the Starseed Oracle deck. Superhero day, baby. Superhero week. So what is your superpower? What is your kryptonite? What is your nemesis? And what makes you... Oh, no. What is your next assignment? Through the Starseed Oracle deck. So actually, I think it's kind of appropriate because you got that card. So it's almost like the spiritual aspect. If there's something that you feel like you can't do in the physical, is what aspect of your spiritual self here can you really play on? Your superpower is fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. Wow. I mean, if some of you are really, really feeling trapped in a situation that you are involved in right now, like it's an extreme. It feels very extreme, which also means that when this door is open, I mean, that will also feel extreme. It'll feel big. The difference between where you are now and where you're going to be are huge. That is your superpower, to recognize that. It is to release. It is try to experience the moment as best that you can, and not try to place too many expectations about timelines in terms of when things change for you with how the energy is actually looking. This is to surrender. That's your superpower. That's where you will find your greatest strength. There's like a whole army of guides. And this is just crazy, no? Like how many guides are in there? Every one of these, I don't know how well it comes up in the camera, but every one of these is like a soul energy. And these are all these soul energies exercising through. I feel like you have just like a massive number of guides and angels sort of working around you at this time and trying to support you energetically as best as they can. Maybe also emotionally. Surrendering is your superpower. What's your kryptonite? Oh, boundaries, the weight of the world. Let it go is not yours to carry. Your kryptonite is a boundary here. It is something that weakens you. It does. It feels like it's a trapped card. Now, the kryptonite is a tricky one because the kryptonite is something that really does, it kind of weakens you. If you play into this energy for too long, it can end up being sort of detrimental. It's also not something that you're meant to sustain, right? If you think about like superhero movies, kryptonite is something that is just, it puts Superman on his knees and he can't do anything about it. So I feel like that this cage has something to do with the boundary energy. In some way here, you're feeling limited. And if you focus on that limitation, it is going to take your powers away. Do not focus on where you're limited here. Focus on where you can expand, even if that is somehow like through your own mind, oh yeah, I think this card even talks about, this is a good time to imagine, to fantasize, to dream in that energy. Because if your physical limitations are all that you can actually see, it will have a detriment to your own energy. So this boundary, this obstacle, this cage that you might feel like you're in, that is kryptonite. Try not to focus on it. Don't look at the bars around you. Now, okay, this is devil's advocate energy now, asking what the nemesis is, because the nemesis is the thing that comes in when we really, it's always the thing that comes around when I really don't need it to come around and I really don't have the time or the energy to deal with it. But then you end up because you don't have a choice, it's in your face, and then you realize you're a lot stronger than you thought you were. Child of the cosmos, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. Oh, wow. What is this, Aquarius? This feels like something you've been struggling with for a while, because the nemesis is the thing that you don't want to do, but it's the thing that will make you stronger, right? Remember, focusing on the bars of the cage in whatever way you feel kind of trapped, constrained, or confined, it makes you weak. It doesn't help you. It doesn't support you. So it also feels like it's something that you can't do anything about. So don't focus on it, because it's just like, it's like spinning your wheels in the snow or in the sand or something, right? Like, yeah, just maybe lay there and imagine the snow is going to melt, or the sand is going to, the mush is, it's going to harden, and let that happen. There's something here that is in divine timing for sure with the way this is coming in. You know what you need. You know. I think you know something more than you want to admit it as well. And it could be even like realizing that this is temporary. When I say temporary, though, I don't feel like it's necessarily a short temporary. And I also don't feel like it's an easy temporary. But it's not indefinite and infinite what you're in. But yeah, the answer's inside you, and you are being asked to find it in there, to go in there. And it does feel like it's the last thing you want to fucking hear, because what you really want is this cage to actually be removed. But remember, your superpower, where you're going to get your strength, is to surrender. Your next assignment, is trusting the timing. What I say, there's definitely some divine timing going on here. And I don't feel like, I'm not going to play up on it and say, oh, don't worry about it. It's just really a short period of time. It is temporary, but temporary doesn't, the timeline in that could be very different for everybody. And your assignment, your next assignment, is going to be trusting the timing in wherever you find yourself right now, to know that in some way here, that this is part of the bigger scheme. Your time isn't running out. You haven't run out of time, and your time isn't running out. I want to say too, it's once the cage is opened, at whatever point in time that happens for you, it's realizing, or it's taking the opportunity to make the most of your time, because it's not running. When I say the most of your time, doing what it is that you want to do, because there's something here that you can't do right now. I'm sorry, Star Family. 7 Star Sisters. Oh, isn't that interesting? The 7 Star Sisters, birthing creations, tapestry of life and expression. Star Family, you're part of a team of souls, call and support, which is also interesting, because that coming in right before the Star Sisters, it is. It's like a double confirmation here that there's all this energy. Who are you? What are you doing? Like, I feel like you're doing something important, or well, you are. You're living your life. That in itself is something important. You have any idea how important that is? It's huge. Just living your life is huge. It is so important, because your soul chose this. Chose it for spiritual growth, chose it for spiritual actualization, chose it for spiritual activation, chose it for spiritual enlightenment, chose it so that your soul could find its way back home, right? So surrendering to some degree, and I say some degree because it can be easier for others, and it can be easier from one time to another. But because you have that trapped cage, it feels like it's not necessarily the easiest thing. But you've got a whack of souls here, of soul family supporting you. And I feel like, right, your nemesis is feeling that. And maybe it's maybe there's something else that you want to build in your life that has to do with physical things. There's a physical experience that you want to go into, to initiate, to start living and being, but you can't. I'm just going to say, I'm not going to lie about the cards. I mean, it is what it is. Why tell you a falsehood, right? And get your hopes up and, oh, next week's going to be different. No, I'm trying to give you the tools, my friend. I'm trying to give you the tools so that you can get past next week and then the next week, if that's what it needs to be. Because, yeah, you know, you're going to get through this and you're going to see that you've never run out of time here, that you are working in divine timing. And, okay, then you go into I'm sorry, defenselessness, writing past wrongs and uprooting. I'm going to be honest. I feel like this is highlighting some period of your life here where you were not connected with your soul family. You were not like in tune, intuitively connecting with your guides and where they wanted you to go. And when I say where they wanted you to go, because you made agreements with them and you said, hey family, I'm going to go do a carnation hot chocolate. I'm going to go do an incarnation here on earth. And this is what I would like for my soul. And y'all would have met together and I said, that's great. Like, because it's all about getting the soul to the highest level possible, which is returning home to source. And so they wanted you to go in a particular direction because your soul said, this is where we're going and this is what I want to do. All right, well, we're going to be there to try to show you the signs and the synchronicities. We're going to try to communicate with you in different ways here. We're going to try to, there might be times where maybe you'll have heart palpitations, or maybe you'll have bouts of anxiety, or maybe you just won't feel good about something. That's us talking to you. You fucking ignored it. You fucking ignored it at times. Because this is almost like feeling like breaking open and apologizing to your star family. Like now, but I don't know if apologizing, it's like, yes, they understand. They totally do. Like soul and spirit is not this all judgmental, and there's no ego. There's absolutely no ego outside of the 3D. That's a human. Well, I want to say most animals. Most animals, if not all animals, have some sense of identity so that they can exist here in the vacuum of not knowing, right? So this is kind of getting down on your knees and praying and connecting. And then what happens when you do that, right? It's like, I am part of this family. I hear you. I sense you. I feel you. And it is to forge, baby. It is to forge. It is to take a path that nobody has taken before. And maybe you could even be ahead of your time here. Oh, you could be ahead of your time. Maybe you figured something out along the way here a little faster than your star family thought you would, the universe thought you would, or even your own soul thought you would before you incarnated here. And so you find yourself at a standstill. It's like, just wait a second. You're way ahead of how everything is going to unfold and how the planets are going to move through this. Because when we set this incarnation up for you, my friend, we did it in the alignment with the planets, and you were born in this time, and this was all going to happen. You were just a little bit ahead of yourself here. So even saying that, right, like your next assignment is knowing that the timing is right. You're ahead of yourself. You're not behind. You're not getting behind. You're actually ahead of yourself. And the process is trying to catch up. It's asking you, can you just wait a second here? Just wait a second. That's what this is. Fall into my arms. The Page of Pentacles. That is your superpower. That is the Earth student, no? Right? The student. Earth school. Student. To fall into, to surrender into the learning process. It's just like this child energy, right? That's your superpower. To be curious. To be curious, but also, right? Always try to think. Or revert back to when I was a little kid and I woke up in the morning. I had all sorts of ideas in my head about what I was going to do. I'm going to get up. I'm going to, maybe mom will make pancakes. I'm thinking weekend. And I was like, well, on a school day, I would still think, what am I going to do? I would never think, what kind of trouble am I going to get into? But I would. So maybe I should have thought about that. I would just get up, and what am I going to do today? I would just like, would I even think about it? Honestly, I don't know. I think I would think about it like, what do I need to do right now? I need to go to pee. I need to go pee, and then, oh, I got to get dressed. Oh, Mom's got breakfast ready. I got to get my breakfast. I got to go brush my teeth. Oh, Mom's giving me my lunch bag, and off you go. Okay. And then I would walk out the door, right? But I wouldn't even think about out the door yet until, oh, now here I am. What's going on? Oh, there's Tracy, or there's who. So like, okay, living in the moment. That's the surrender, is to live in the moment and just like try to remove all of that adult braining that creates too much expectation. It creates too much, I need to follow this system. The system needs to be here for me. And now I'm stuck in the system. I know it is. I know how that came to, right? Now I'm stuck in the system. That's your superpower, my friend. That's your superpower. The weight of the world is your, right? Think about that too as a child. I don't know what's for dinner. I have no idea what's going on. I gotta go home now. Streetlights are, right? It's like, just let the boundaries. Don't feel the weight of either expectation, boundaries, this cage. I'm hearing a gilded cage, so I don't know why it's a gilded cage. Maybe there's something that you've created in your life here that provides you with some type of security and foundation. And, you know, you can have it or not have it. It's up to you. But, all right, the weight of the world is your kryptonite. Don't take it on. Don't take on other people. You already got enough of your own shit to deal with. If you got the cage, well, how are you going to help anybody in the cage? Oh my God. The King of Cups and the Nine of Wands. It could be other people's heavy feelings here. Other people's heavy feelings, your kryptonite. Other people's heavy feelings and problems. It might even be, I'm wondering if some of you need to have some type of a boundary here between you and something or someone else. It may or may not be the best solution to a problem that you have right now, but it is the only solution. I feel like I totally channeled that, and I feel like somebody really needed to hear it. It may not be the best solution that you have right now, but it is the only solution. And I feel it's centered around some type of, it could be an expectation, or it could be a perception that somebody has surrounding you. Focusing on this is not going to do you any good. If it's the only solution that you have right now, and it's a solution that doesn't feel like it's ideal, or it's not necessarily, if you could choose all of the solutions in the world, it wouldn't be the one that you choose to try to manage or deal with something that is going on in your life that is difficult and makes you feel limited. It's the only solution. So if you can look at it that way, I feel like that can actually help you to surrender. It's the only solution. So it's going to help you surrender to this. And I do feel like looking at the cards is really, really important that you don't let something affect you to the point that, you know, you feel emotional, spiritual, energetic fatigue in this, and physical. Your nemesis is the child of the cosmos. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. Oh, the Page of Pentacles, right? The child. And that's your superpower, is to surrender to what is deep inside you. The world and death. Wow. Rebirth. Allow yourself to be transformed through this period. The intelligence within you is being hatched out. Who you were before is over. Who you'll be in, maybe you're even just like waiting for some type of a rebirth. And it's like, well, there ain't no shit going on. There's nothing going on, or what is this? Am I just one foot in front of the other, one day after another? What's this going to be, Spirit? Well, I'll tell you. Your nemesis is the end leading into your rebirth. Is the period where you will rise out of the ashes. You will rise from this cage. You know that's there. You know it is. I feel like this reading is literally coming out in a timely manner to remind somebody that your situation is temporary. the solution that is helping you through it at this time is the only one available. It may not be the one that is, if you could pick from a hat of solutions, it wouldn't be the one that you would pick, but it is the only one. And the best thing to focus on, instead of focusing on where you feel limited and trapped, is to focus on inside. Inside, maybe imagine, fantasize like a child. God, like so much of what a child does is centered around play and fantasy, right? And just imagining. And I've always recognized, well, not always, we say it like always, like when I was 4 months old, I knew this. I've learned to recognize that when you see young people and you see very old people, you see people who are so close to God and so close to Source. And I always feel like the period between like maybe our 30s and 50s, 60s. No, I'm going to say, yeah, no, 20s to 60s. And there's a fair bit of flexibility in that. Is a period where the veil or a disconnect can become the strongest disconnect, right? Because we end up in that period where we are furthest from God, furthest from Source. If we've just been born, we're right there. We're right there. We still have such a strong connection. We recognize that frequency so easily. So it's easy for us to tap into it. But as the longer we're away from that frequency and when we're bombarded by the physical, that's the frequency that becomes more familiar, and we become tied into that more easily, which is this to me. I feel like y'all have or had that, or you're having that period here where you become disconnected from the starseed family. They know it's going to happen. They're waiting for you to connect with them again. And then as we approach, I mean, none of us is living forever. Nobody gets out of this unscathed or alive, baby. That's the whole thing with life. So as we get older, we start to reestablish that connection. Right? You see old people, they start getting into all that stuff like, I've been talking to your dad. You're like, Mom, Dad's been dead for like 20 years. Oh, he comes around. I'm talking to him. I bet you she does. I bet you she does. But, right? Like that's that. Yeah. Yeah. It's totally. So, okay. So coming back here, your nemesis is you have the answers inside yourself here. You really do. You do. And if you want to rebirth, you can have it on every level except physical, okay? I'm going to say you can have it on every level except the physical. Your next assignment is trust the timing. Trust the timing. You came on in the right time. You're not missing out on anything. Your time is not running out. Even as I'm saying that too, it kind of feels like, you know what? You have infinite lifetimes to do whatever the fuck you want to do. If you don't accomplish something in this lifetime, don't worry about it. You've got another one around the corner. It's infinite how many lifetimes you can have. You're not running out of time or experiences to get it right. I kind of like that. I like this energy. I like this reading. The Knight of Pentacles. Oh, this is all part of a long term. This is all about, the timing here is all about keeping the progress that you're making, the things that are happening, where you're going. It's all part of a master plan, and it's all around stability and longevity here. I feel like whenever you get out of whatever this rut is, this cage, you have a very long period of time here for yourself. And it's going to be very stable, but it's also getting there. This is my slowest night out of all the decks, right? We know it's the Knight of Pentacles, but let's take a hot look at that card. He's riding a horse or a steed here, or whatever that thing is. It's a plant. It's not moving. It's just slowly growing. Maybe it does feel like this progress is at a snail's pace or at the speed that plants grow, but they do grow. And they are doing their thing. So I don't know how you feel about that. I liked your reading. You don't have to like it. You can feel any way you want about it. The Devil, the Ace of Wands, the Ten of Wands, Judgment, the Six of Cups, the Two of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. What the? Well, there's the Devil. There we are, trapped in the frequency and the resonance of the 3D and being disconnected from our spirit guides and from Source, right? That's where it starts, because I feel like, and that reflects the underline of the Starseed deck. And then the Ace of Wands. And then we have a good idea about carrying the weight of the world here. I got a great idea. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put all of this responsibility and this hardship on myself. Don't do it. Judgment and the Six of Cups. Judgment and the Six of Cups. That feels like, to me, when this frequency finally gets too heavy, you hear the call. You hear the call of God. You hear the call of your angels, your guides, and you reconnect with them. Oh, the Two of Cups flowing together in equal balance. Flowing together in equal balance. Ta-da-da. So, Aquarius, I'm going to go do the extended. In the extended, I'm going to ask, what am I going to ask here? I wrote this down. What resource within you is depleted? Oh, interesting. Probably the boundary thing here. How can you replenish this resource? And what is your greatest achievement yet to come? I'm going to ask that. The link to the extended is at the bottom of the this video, at the top of the description. You can either join the membership if you want to join the membership to get access to all the extendeds, which is 40 to 50, roughly 40 to 50 videos, new ones a month, plus everything else that has ever come. You got all that time to sit and watch that stuff. You get so much Cindy, you just don't know what to do with it. You get that for that, or you could do a one-time, no commitment below the membership. And that's what I got for you, my friends. Thank you so much, Aquarius. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.